All right, people, we're just going to go ahead and get this thing started here. We got Ibai Canales, and we're going to bring him in right now. And Ibai, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, man. I'm pumped. Always excited to talk to you. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. I had a great time last time I was in your show, and I'm sure it will happen again.
Yes. Now, last time you came on, we talked about all kinds of stuff, and um, particularly what's going on in Spain and around the world. But before we get into that, I wanted to give you an opportunity. I wanted to talk about, I know you have some projects going on, and I know you've been working with Hojo, and so talk a little bit about what you're working on.
Well, I'm not sure how much I can say of what I'm working on because I don't want to
Okay.
spoil anything. I'm still working on the gnomes book. I think I told you about last time we're together about this well, actually, Luis, who's the writer, announced it on his Twitter. So I guess it's safe for me to say that
Okay.
I'm working on a supernatural black comedy horror comic about a bunch of garden gnomes who come alive and brutally murder and brutalize a bunch of leftists during a Halloween night. So
Wow.
that's one of the projects I'm working on. I'm
Okay.
having a shitload of fun. It's like exactly what I want to draw.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Garden gnomes murdering people. I love it.
In the most gruesome ways you can possibly imagine. And I am indeed also working for Hojo. I'm working on his. Well, I guess you guys know about the Mythicals, which is like his ongoing series. It's kind of like the BPRD, from Hellboy, like
Yes.
this organization like that recruits like supernatural beings to fight against other much worse supernatural beings and stuff like that. And I'm drawing a short story set in that universe. It's like the background story of one of the characters.
Well, that's fantastic. I love those kind of stories, man. Hellboy's one of my favorites, and I absolutely love. Well, did you just get disconnected? I think we just might have lost him for a second. Hold on, let me try to get him back, people. Just a minute. All
Sorry
right,
about
all right.
that.
We got him back. We got him back. And so fantastic. So that sounds like an awesome project too.
It is. It is. It's for some reason I'm working mostly on period pieces. This last few days, I don't know why, but I keep getting commissioned with like stuff set in the 1700s
Uh huh.
or during the Spanish expansion age, like the Spanish Empire. I'm also working. Again, I'm not sure how much I can say about this, but I'm also working on a comic book that includes Spaniards and Aztecs. I guess
Okay.
at some point more will be revealed, but I don't wanna spoil anyone or
Yes, of
anything.
course.
Sorry. That's three projects I'm working on. I think that's all of them.
That's pretty good. You're
But
pretty
I
busy.
I'm busy. I'm back to the golden years of CG when like everybody wanted to work with me, and I was always working like in three, four separate comics at the same time. That's awesome.
That's awesome, bro. That's so exciting. I absolutely love your cartoons. I saw you posted another fantastic one today, and I reposted it. And every time I see a post from you, I always look for it, and it makes me laugh because I'm like, oh, he's got something there. So
And
I can't.
I'm such an asshole. I'm always making fun of people. I'm such a bad person.
Oh yeah, dude, you're a bad boy, bro, and everybody loves bad boys, right? I mean, like nobody wants to be around people who are nice and easygoing. We want the action, we want the drama, don't we? Yeah,
At least I'm not boring, you know.
that's right. It puts a smile on our faces. Okay. Now, before we go on, I want to check in with one thing. I know Papa Canales. How's he doing? He's recuperating from open heart surgery. How's he doing? Can you update everybody?
Oh, he's doing great. Thanks for asking. He appreciates all the all the support he's gotten from my Twitter friends. And yeah, he's basically freaking Wolverine. Like two hours after surgery, he was already awake and complaining about how uncomfortable the bed was. So like he was supposed to be out for like I don't know maybe 24 hours, 36 hours because he got like sunk with anesthetics. The guy was like 2 hours after like they soon in shot again,
Yeah.
was awake and mobile. It's a beast.
Uh,
And yeah, he's almost back to normal. Like still isn't doing anything too strenuous. He just like goes on walks, but yeah, it's like running the gym as always.
Well, good, good. It's good to hear that he's back on his feet and he's going to be out there kickboxing pretty soon. So, now, we were all
No
like, as
time,
soon
man.
as
No
I
time.
heard he was having a surgery, open heart surgery, I was like, oh my God. So it's a relief to hear about that. It's fantastic. Now,
Thanks.
I just forgot what we were going to talk about. But did I tell you? I'm just kidding. I didn't tell you. But yeah, so besides that, so we got your projects out of the way. We got checking on the family, making sure everybody's good. Bro, what the hell's going on in Spain?
Man, what is not going on in Spain? Well, you live in California, so if I tell you that Spain is basically the California of Europe, you understand what I mean.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Right. It's like it's been run for like I guess 8 years now by rampant leftist lunatics that are full on identity politics, full on feminism, full on globalism. Well, the two of the most recent events I can think of that are a result of these absolute assholes running the country is that one, it's been revealed that in how do I explain this? It's like a summer camp, but for like to learn about Euskera, which is like the Basque language, and about Basque culture and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
okay, yeah.
they've been doing this. It's like I don't know what the equivalent would be like summer camp to learn about American history, I guess.
Sure.
And they take you on a trip and they take you to like yes historic sites and whatnot. And the problem is that in Basque country, Basque culture has been hijacked by the left
Okay.
since from at least since the Franco years, because Franco oppresses the Basque, so the Basque become leftist, so the left completely overtakes Basque culture. So as a result of this, in one of these summer camps, uh, they basically try to feminize the kids because with the whole LGBT bullshit.
Yeah.
And in order to do so, the camp counselors, among other things, showered with the kids. They forced the kids to shower with them.
They showered with the
Walk
kids?
with the kids. Yeah, it's like this
Wow.
this all hippie bullshit. We gotta be naked all the time because nature and shit. So they basically force the kids to shower naked with them. They walk in front of the kids in basically in underwear or naked,
Wow.
half naked.
And how old are these
They
kids?
apparently since like they're like 15 tops.
Oh,
15 is the oldest. There's like
wow.
6-year-olds involved in this shit, stuff like that. 6 to
Whoa.
15 probably.
Whoa. So full
So
on indoctrination and grooming of the children.
yes, Yes, they apparently
Wow.
try to like indoctrinate them with a mixture of like Basque culture and rampant LGBT degeneracy because apparently both of them go hand in hand. It's like, long story short, it's basically Basque Lives Matter. You know how Marxism
Oh.
is
Yeah.
taking over black, the black struggle and all that. It's the
Yeah.
same in Spain. Like
Wow. Okay.
Basquism and Marxism are like basically the same. So they
Interchangeable.
are not trying to, yeah, yeah, they're trying to like LGBT size kids now because it's all part of being Basque, apparently.
Wow. So
And there's what really creeped me the fuck out are reports of some of the counselors forcing the kids to suck their toes. The kids wanted to get lunch.
wow.
This is
Suck
in the
their
fucking
so they
newspaper.
suck their
Fucking
toes so they can
fucking
go
toe.
have lunch, and they
You wanna eat, you
reported on
gotta
that
do
in
it.
the newspaper. Wow.
That's on the
That's
fucking newspapers. I'm not making. That's not even a rumor. That's in the
you
press.
could Google it. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, that is insane. Yeah, we just got done talking with James about what's going on in England, and I'm noticing a lot of pattern overlap because I got some friends in Canada. They're saying the same thing. I got some friends in England saying the same thing. I got you in Spain saying the same thing, and of course in America we have similar patterns going on, and just different clothing. Like with you it's Basque, with us it's Black Lives Matter. Like they find a minority and then they use that minority to become a victim and use that victim card to try to take priority over the entire society and demand changes. And is that what you're seeing over there with the Basque culture?
100%. The left, like the usual MO of the left, is always to weaponize someone. During the Stalin, the Lenin years, they weaponized the working class and the peasants in Soviet Russia, well, in pre-Soviet Russia. Here in Spain, did the same thing prior to the Civil War, and it's a long, sad story about how Marxism became cultural Marxism, but it's they're doing the same now, but with like whatever minority they can deem oppressed. They can say the gays are oppressed, or they can say the blacks are oppressed, or the Basques are oppressed in my case, and they're gonna use them as basically foot soldiers, as like disposable cannon fodder to uh, cause a revolution. They want them to destabilize the country. They're using like the blacks or the Basques or the gays, whatever, like mentally ill people, but doesn't matter. They're gonna like use them as missiles, demolish the establishment, and once the dust has settled, the people who weaponize these minorities are gonna install themselves as the new rulers.
Wow.
That's
Now,
how it always goes.
how does the Basque community feel about that? Surely there's got to be more people like you and your family and out there saying, "Wait a minute, what's going on?"
There are, but apparently, well, this happened in a small village in southern Basque country, and in small villages, more often than not, like the Basque separatist left, the Basque Marxist left, has a lot of power. So, whereas outside of that village, there's a lot of people that are unhappy with the situation. In the same village, there's a lot of people that
Oh,
actually think that's normal and actually
okay.
defend them. No, no, that's we need to do this. We need to sexually abuse our kids to fight against Spanish oppression and bring about socialist paradise in Basque Country. No, this is normal. Yes, we will do the same thing next year.
Bro, that's
I'm
crazy.
quoting verbatim. I'm
Yeah.
quoting verbatim.
Wow, that's crazy. And what about immigration? Are you guys seeing a lot of immigration like in combination with this? And where are the immigration? Where's that coming from? Is it coming from Africa, North Africa? Uh, can you talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
that's another of the recent events I was going to mention. I saw a video. I've heard contradicting reports about it. 'Cause I know people in the area, and nobody has been able to confirm it. But maybe AI. I don't know. You can never be sure these days. But I've seen Arab people land on a harbor here in. It's like 50. It's a 50-minute walk from where I live. 20-minute walk tops.
Yeah.
And I've seen them. They just land the boat on the harbor and just walk into town. And the Basques from the town were actually welcoming them with like Palestinian flags and traditional Basque dances. Just like it's kind of like the Basque haka, we only do traditional dances with honoring
Yeah,
our guests.
that,
Like it's not as cringe. It's not as cringe, but we still do that. And it's the same. In New Zealand, they actually weaponize the Maori, and they
yes.
actually weaponize the Maori. It's the same. They always do
It,
that.
in fact, you just did a cartoon about that. That bro, I was
Mhm.
I was laughing so hard because that Maori, that Haka thing is, oh my god, I am so over it. It's so irritating now. So you had me
I,
laughing
u-
this
I used
morning.
to I used to thought it was awesome because both me and my dad are huge fans of Maori fighters,
Yeah,
like Roy Sefo, the K1 fighters. They're like they have like this reputation as really tough but noble guys, and we used to have a lot of respect for Maoris, and we used to really like Haka. But they made it cringe.
they
They
did.
use
It's
the fucking
cringe.
Haka for everything. It's like, bro, enough with the Hakas already. I get it. You like to dance. That's enough. You go
It's
to the grocery
crazy.
store, you realize that the fucking beans are 5 pounds more expensive than the last time you do a Haka to protest. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's wild. So you have people actually welcoming the immigrants in the
Yes.
vast cities where they land, giving them
Mhm.
dances, giving them food, giving them housing, directing them
The
to
thermal
social
blanket. Yeah, yeah,
programs.
yeah. It's actually I think Basque Country alongside with the Spanish province basically of Palencia and the still Spanish province of Catalonia. They're the ones that give most money to migrants, and the ones that have like the most welcoming policies toward migrants. So everybody's coming here or to Valencia or to Catalonia.
Wow, wow, and I'm sure that's impacting the local economy, the local school system. Or is it majority men that are the immigrants? Like in
It
James'
is.
case,
It
it
is a
was
majority
majority men.
man. Yes, in this video that I mentioned about, like the guys just walking into town from the boat. Yeah, they're all like young to middle-aged men. Like
Wow.
they're men that should be in the army, or working to make their own countries better.
Yeah, and James mentioned that the boats held like 500 people, or 200 people, or some of them a
Yeah,
thousand
this one
people.
was actually this one was actually smaller, just like maybe a dozen guys, something like that. But the ones that are actually landing on the Canary Islands, yeah, it's crazy. It's like a troop carrier.
Yeah,
It's like hundreds. It's like it's really long. Like it's like a barge, like a
yeah,
really long wide barge. It's like dozens of like hundreds of those guys,
yeah. I
and you will see like from bird's eye view, you will see like them docking on the harbor. There's like tons of them. Like bro, that's thousands of migrants, tens of thousands of migrants every month.
yeah. I've heard that the Canary Islands, like their population, like expanded, like exploded by like I don't know, like 1,000% or something, and it's all migrant people,
Yeah,
and
yeah. In
they're
some
all
islands, the natives. In some islands, the natives are already a minority in their own islands.
yeah, like after a couple months or a year, it's just it's
Yeah,
insane.
because it's just like a couple thousand people. It's like a small island in the middle of the Canary Islands, not Mediterranean, but like same, in the middle of the sea.
Right.
And so yeah, in like a year tops, those guys are going to be outnumbered by the foreigners in their own islands. Yeah, yeah, it's
And
like
so,
a tiny sea
so,
island.
so when the foreigners become the majority, do you think that they'll have social programs for the minority people who live there?
I certainly doubt so.
No, I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
I'm
so.
gonna
Right?
I'm gonna quote Winston Churchill on this: that Muslims are only concerned about minority rights when they are in the minority. Once they're
It,
their
it,
majority, there's no rights for
it
anyone.
it's true. So are there then a lot of Muslims coming into Spain?
Yes, a lot of Muslims and a lot of African people, most basically people from North Africa, Africa in general. Some of them from the Middle East. We really don't know because they're illegal. We don't know
Yeah.
where they're coming from. They just like walk in and I live here now.
Now, are have you noticed, or does the government like stop protests? Like, are there Spanish protests? Like, there's a big protest in England. Are there protests in Spain or no?
I'm pained to say that Spaniards are not as based as the Brits. The Brits are, especially the Irish, are like tougher and prouder than the Spaniards. There's like I can think of what was it, Torre Pacheco. small village in Valencia called Torre Pacheco, in which, yeah, the locals rebelled against both the migrants and the government that is just bringing migrants in, because there's been like a uptick, crazy uptick in street violence and muggings and even rapes.
Wow.
And it's like it's a small village, it's just a few thousand people, and it's noticeable. It used to be a peaceful, quiet village
Right.
somewhere in Valencia where it's always like the weather is nice, and suddenly it's like hundreds of, I guess, Arab migrants and African migrants doing whatever the fuck they want. The cops aren't doing anything because Spanish cops, I guess, they're like the laziest cops in the world, probably. Only, I guess, only the Mexicans are lazier than I don't know.
Well, at
Like
least the
nobody gives a
Mexicans
shit.
take bribes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can bribe Mexicans. Spanish are like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I don't want money. Just leave me alone. Just want to sit down on my ass in my car, in the squad car all day and doing nothing else. I'm good.
Well, the picture I really get is like a Lord of the Rings, where the orcs are coming out of the inside of the Earth, and they're kind of taking over Middle Earth, and it really sounds like that's kind of what's happening in Spain. Um, what do you think is the end here? Where is this going?
I have an American friend here, of course. My best friend here in Spain is, of course, an American guy, an expat, and we talk about this stuff all the time. And he believes that since we've had the population collapse is coming for Europeans because we're having less and less kids every generation, and the corporation that rule us are going to need the same amount of workers or even more than what they had before because they need to surpass their profit margin every quarter. So they
Yeah.
always need to go more. So our theory is that they're trying to replace the lack of births, the lack of population in Europe, the upcoming lack of population in Europe with foreigners. So these foreigners will work in their factories, their mines, their offices, or whatever. The thing is, foreigners coming here don't even speak the language.
Right.
I don't know. Like this is maybe that they what they want, but I don't think that's what they're going to achieve.
Okay.
Because you
Yeah.
see a lot of like progressive politicians. I just read about this German socialist mayor who was tortured by her own adoptive daughter. It was an African girl. She was tortured for hours in her own basement with a knife and fire.
Well, that
So
sucks.
my take is, oh, the noble savage. We're taking in noble savages. We're gonna educate them. We're gonna train them, and they're gonna be just like us. And nope, no, they're
Yeah.
not gonna be just like us.
Yeah, the whole concept of what are they going to work in a factory, and or what are are they you going to have to train them over several generations in order to I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. But there's also
Because
the big go on.
yeah, I was gonna say, what's the end goal if not that? Like, you're just gonna have a bunch of like, you're just gonna have like millions of uneducated, unemployed migrants living off the government like forever. What's the benefit in that? Like, nobody's gonna win. Nobody's gonna work. They're not gonna have workers to lead, with taxes. So
Right.
I think that's
Uh,
what you want, but that's not what you want to get.
Now, do you think that the AI component is going to try to bridge that gap between unskilled and skilled labor? Do you think that's their plan, to integrate AI along with the unskilled labor? Maybe is
I
AI is
guess.
AI is AI big in Spain? Are they building a lot of AI data centers in Spain? They're building a lot here in America.
I remember they mentioned that during COVID, which was extra scary because they were like, we're gonna keep you under house arrest forever, and we're gonna force vaccines upon you, and AI is gonna help us with that. I was like, holy fuck, this is like full on medical Skynet bullshit going on.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything since then. It's like sounded to me like another Spanish braggart thing. We're gonna be world leaders in AI. 5 years later, we can't even like program a VCR. Still like it's the 80s.
VCR. I know that they lie all the time, and I remember they rolled out an Amazon AI store where you supermarket where you supposedly go in and you buy all of your items. You just put them in your cart, and the AI camera monitors and rings up your total bill. Just with the AI, you don't have to no beep beep, none of that. Just everything you put into your cart, like I'm putting this in my cart, the AI would ring it up for you. And when you walked out of the store, it would deduct it from your virtual wallet. And it turned out that that was a complete lie. They had data centers, call centers full of Indian workers that would watch
Huh.
you on camera. They would watch you on camera and try to add up your bill, and they would always get it wrong. But it was a bunch of Indian workers in a call center.
They were trying to post about their powerful AI, and it was just a bunch of Indian guys pretending to be a robot.
Yes, yes, it was like a whole office full of Indian guys, and they were. It was like each floor had like 100 of Indian guys that would watch different stores, and they said they were all AI, but they weren't. Maybe they meant they were all something Indian, I don't know, artificial Indians. I don't know.
If you told me this, like, wait, when I was playing Cyberpunk 2020 in like 1997 with my friends, and you told me this is how the future is gonna be, I would think you were like sticking the piece, like, no way.
Wait,
You gotta be kidding. No, no,
it's all a
this is far
scam.
too retarded. It's like
Yeah,
it's like a meth crack adult retarded version of Cyberpunk. This isn't even Blade Runner. At
yeah,
least they have like cool light.
it's all a scam. They try to say, oh, everything's going to be better. A big story right now in America is the fact that refrigerators have like a TV screen on the front of them, and they're like $4,000 or $5,000 US, but they're connected to the internet, right? And so what they're doing now is they're showing commercials and ads on your refrigerator that you paid $5,000 for, and people can't turn it off.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that crazy? And
That's
they have cameras on the inside of the refrigerator so they can monitor what you have in your refrigerator.
that's insane. That's China levels of insanity.
And those are the luxury brand refrigerators.
Talk about, like, I'll just buy a bunch of I'll just buy a bag of ice and pour it into a box, and that's it.
Yeah,
At
and
least I know a fucking box isn't spying me for the NSA, you know?
right, exactly. And also, they have to put like these Nvidia chips in these like refrigerators now, and they're like $5,000 because they got
I
an
can play Doom
AI and
Eternal on my refrigerator now?
yeah.
I
And
This is
so
insane, dude.
refrigerators, they used to be like $400, right? Now they're 5,000 because they got better software and better hardware than like my gaming computer.
I just want it to cool shit. That's what I want. I just want my refrigerator to keep my food and my beverages cold. That's all. I don't need it to give me any readings. All right. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it's
Like, we still
crazy.
haven't cured cancer or Alzheimer's, and we're wasting money in this bullshit.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And it's wild. They're ramping up the cost, but the quality of the actual refrigerator is going down. Like they have planned obsolescence, and that means that they plan for things to break, right? What the hell? What the hell? You know, like to buy even a good car, you have to go back and buy like a 2013, 2014 model. The newer models have all these cameras, all these microchips, and I don't know if you saw, but even BMW and other car brands, they make you pay a subscription to use your seat warmer. You have to,
What?
yeah. So you have to buy a subscription. Yeah, you buy your nice BMW car, la la la, and then they have a seat warmer. The hardware's already there, but they will lock you out from the software point of view until you pay like a $30 or $40 monthly subscription. And they have different features like that. Like you could get better fuel injection, more horsepower. They limit the horsepower of your engine based upon the subscription plan that you pay.
What the fuck?
Bro, isn't that
Like,
wild?
that's insane.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, right? So
It's,
you're
it's like
there.
that episode. It's like that episode from like Cloud Atlas, that Wachowski movies, that Wachowski brother movies about like the people who like get reincarnated in several ages throughout throughout the centuries. And there's like this episode or like whatever this part of the movie that takes place in I think like future, near future South Korea, and everything is like a subscription payment,
Yeah,
and it's like that's that it's like Black Mirror, bro. It's like full on Black Mirror.
right, right. So my question would be, when are they going to get pushback against this? Because there was going to be a backlash. Because people are going to be like, "Fuck this." When's that going to happen? What do you think, Ibai?
Well, me and my family, my parents are pretty Luddite in that regard. So for one, we refuse to use QR codes unless it's like strictly necessary and there's no other way of doing things. But
Uh
if,
huh.
if we can, we will avoid using QR codes. We won't use Venmo. We won't use Bizum, or what the fuck you call that in the US. We are trying to be as early 2000s as
Yeah.
possible.
So
Under no fucking circumstances.
what does Luddite mean for people who don't know?
Luddite used to be I'm not an expert, but a bunch of guys who refused an industrial revolution. So machines and progress as
Okay.
evil. And yeah, I'm getting there.
No.
I'm kind of like a moderate Tammy, you know? I'm
Yeah.
like no, I'm cool with like early to mid 2000s technology. I don't need anything else. I just want progress to erase all the diseases as possible, and to lengthen human lifespan and life quality for as long as possible, and take us to another world. I don't need fucking subscription payment heating on my car. I don't need
Right.
intelligent refrigerators. I don't need any of that bullshit.
It's almost like the 1950s, 1960s was like peak technology. They give you the best value and none of this bullshit computer stuff. In
We're
America,
definitely going
go on.
downwards. Like we're living in I guess we live in the age of dopamine. You know,
Yes.
we're so used to social media and all this crap, and that's what we are focusing on as a species, instead of what we should be focusing on, which is like the hardware. The software has been already upgraded enough. Let's focus on the hardware. Let's focus on the outside world, or like, the quality of life.
Right.
Yeah, let's, as I said, let's erase all the diseases. Let's erase. I'm not gonna say let's end aging, but like let's make aging comfortable and humane. Not like that's what we should
Yes.
be. That's what we should be focusing on. Like I feel like we've become like insanely consumeristic and insanely superficial, and it's partly due to social media and how technology is evolving.
Yeah, you break up a very good point. I remember they were doing studies like in 2000 trying to figure out how to create on the phone a gambling situation. Like they would study gamblers with slot machines and try to make that dopamine hit kind of thing go on and do a feedback loop. And they've definitely done that with the phone and with social media for sure. Everybody's right here for the feedback loop. And it's really impacted women tremendously. And of course, women are the ones who give culture to their children, and so that's impacted the next generation who has gone right along with all of this kind of stuff. And from my point of view, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, we need to try to get women, men too, but women because of the children component off of the social media, so that they could, give a better quality of life to their children. Like all these children now are being raised on screens. And they say that even if when children are raised on screens, it stops their development. Their brain doesn't develop.
There's how do I put this? There is something extremely wrong about making a kid experience the world for the first time through a screen in a virtual fashion. You know, uh, kids are watching videos about kids playing before they see other kids playing for real
Yeah.
in the schoolyard or in the street. Because that's how parents are raising kids now. They're giving them a cell phone or a tablet while they're still in the stroller or in the pram to like pacify them. I've seen that a ton of times when I'm in public transportation. But a young couple will just give the little toddler on the stroller, just give that tablet with like a pre-programmed video of some sort, like or some like YouTube kid-friendly channel, and the kid will like just be hypnotized by the thing. They're
Yes.
they're learning about the world through a virtual lens. They're not actually learning about the world firsthand like we used to. I think ours was the last generation to do so.
Yeah. You definitely see how powerful it is. The screen. When they give the child the screen, the child just like becomes consumed by it. And if you
Mhm.
remove the screen, the child flips out like he's on heroin or something. They just throw a tantrum. They go crazy. So doesn't that tell the parents like, hey, this is like fucked up?
I would be creeped out if I had a kid by some cosmic coincidence. I actually got along with a woman for long enough to like have
It's
offspring with her.
possible. It's possible.
It is. I don't lose hope.
Let's
Actually,
hope
I'm not too.
we need some little Ibais running around. We do. We do.
I need to impregnate as many women as possible with Superman in the new
That's a
movie.
good
That's what I
plan.
was. That's what I was sent here for.
Yes.
Yeah, if I had a kid and that's how my kid reacted, I would be creeped the fuck out. Like this is normal.
Yeah.
Like my kids shouldn't need a device to be happy. And I was okay. I was kind of raised with TV, and so were my cousins. And yeah, my cousins were kind of like more hooked on TV than me, and I still saw that. But like, this is ridiculous. This is some ridiculous levels of like
Right.
being addicted to a screen. Like they give them to the kids when they're toddlers. They
Yeah.
never had a chance. Like
Yes.
I don't think any kid younger than let's say 16 needs a cell phone for
I
no
agree.
reason.
I agree.
What the fuck would you need it for? I didn't have a cell phone until I was in my mid 20s, and
Yes.
I was making short movies, short films with my college friends, and I was, I didn't know when I was gonna finish. I was somewhere up in the mountains, 3 a.m. So I just wanted to tell my parents, hey, I'm gonna be late. So I'll be home as soon as possible. That's all
Right.
I needed the cell phone.
And you probably had one of those flip phone, the dumb phone, right? It
Yeah,
doesn't
I had,
have
I had a
any.
flip phone.
That's what we
I
should
don't. Yeah,
have.
I don't even. I think they call them dumb phones as
Yeah.
opposed to smartphones.
People should go
No,
back to using dumb phones. It would stop all this QR creep and all this bullshit. But
it should be a tool. They should be used a tool, not an extension of you and something that you need to get by every day. Just
well,
grab
yeah,
a book, grab a comic book you used to.
right. And there's definitely a huge impairment. Well, there's a lot of studies coming about the children and what they're able to read at when they're graduating high school, and most of them don't even read at a high school level. They use Chat GPT, and it's being encouraged to have the computer do their homework. As a parent, how could you send your child into the world knowing they can't read?
Like, I don't know what parents are thinking these days. I've noticed that, well, this has been happening for a while, but I noticed that in Spain, it's pretty normal to act as if you were your kid's buddy and not his parent. There isn't that separation, that gap that may exist, for example, in American culture, in which until relatively recently, I guess it was normal to call your dad sir. You
Hmm.
know, your dad told you to do something, you said, good, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because he's your dad, you love him, but he's an authority figure. He's not your friend.
Right.
You're not supposed to hang out with your dad like, I do, but you get my point.
Well, when you
Like,
get
yeah,
older, that can be different.
yeah, it's like when you both become adults and you share influence and interests, yeah, sure, whatever. But when you're a kid, I wasn't my dad's friend. He was my dad. He was an authority figure. He was a guy who I resorted to when I had doubt, and I was kind of slightly scared of him because he could like get mad and lock me up in the attic or whatever. That kind of shit that our parents did, and, with the rest of the kids in chains that he had up there. No, I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, your dad used to be an authority figure, and here in Spain, parents are not friends, are their kids' friends. And I swear to God, I've seen parents get shit faced beside their kids, like go clubbing together.
Wow.
I've seen that shit happen. You know, that's a
So
problem.
So
That's
there's not really discipline. Like you said earlier, we were talking about the TV and the video game. You know, when we were kids, I remember my mom would always say, "Okay, only 1 hour for video game, and then turn it off." Right? And it was
Mhm.
never connected to the internet or anything back then. It was just like you got Mario Brothers or you got you know Twisted Metal or you got PlayStation or whatever, and we would play for an hour. And then on the weekends, we would get 3 hours to play maybe if we got our chores done, if we went out and played, and she would quite often say, "Okay, that's enough time in the TV. It's sunny outside. Go out and play. Go out and play
yes.
baseball,
I
stickball."
remember my mom. My mom would tell me that a lot. Like, go outside and play with other kids because I was a nerd, and I was into like reading comics and playing with my action figures and watching shows and movies on TV. And she was like, "Okay, you already watched like I don't know an hour of TV. That's enough. Put that shit up and go outside. Your cousin is waiting for you. You know, go outside, play under the sun." So yeah, that's
Right.
something that your parents used to do in the old days.
Right, and then we would learn socialization, being out with the
Hmm.
kids all the time. Uh, you know, and if we were lucky, we'd meet a girl or two, right? Have a good time with that. And but now, especially after COVID, there was no socialization.
Yep.
Everybody forced into these screens, into this world of like computer and video games and movies, and now on top of it, it's being severely monetized. So you have to keep paying for it. Whereas when we were kids, we could buy a video game for $40 or $50, and that was it. We played the entire thing 3 or 4 times, whatever. Maybe it lasted 2 or 3 months, and then we'd get a new one or whatever. But now you get charged all the time, and not only that, but your data is being recorded.
Yeah, I started to, well, not hate, but I started to feel uneasy about video games when you needed to log into the internet to play. You know, because, yeah, as you said, like back in the 90s, I remember I would save my allowance for like, I don't know, an entire year and go to the video game store and buy myself Carmageddon 2, for example, or StarCraft. And that was it. And you didn't I didn't have an internet connection until like the early 2000 myself, like maybe 2002 or something like that. So you just bought your video game, you play it in your house, and then that's it. And they had that replay value. You could like replay for like little of time. Like I played yeah, Carmageddon 2, Quake 3, no internet, so it was just me against bots.
Yeah,
And StarCraft, and that was it. Like it was, yeah, it was 60 bucks each, 60 bucks each, and that was it.
yeah,
You know? And
and
nowadays you gotta log into the internet, you gotta punch in your name and your address and your data, and no, you want a bigger gun for Quake, you gotta pay for it. Like, what is this?
right,
I just wanna play.
and they connect it to your mobile device so they could
Yeah, it's like
track
yeah,
your
it's like
GPS and all of that
fucking
stuff. And it's
yeah, yeah,
gotten to
yeah.
the it's gotten to the point where it's exceeded the parent's ability to monitor their child. It's really a back door out into the world, and it's wide open for whoever wants to come by and access, that individual, that child, their data, their location, whatever.
Yeah, it's as I said. That's why it's one of the many reasons I think no kid under, I guess, teenage years, which is the age in which you start to go on by yourself and into the outside world. No kid under that age needs a cell phone.
Agree.
They probably shouldn't be anywhere near a cell phone or a tablet,
Agree.
especially if they have the internet, like if they have an internet connection. The internet should be exclusively for like grown-ups,
Yeah.
18 and older. That's it.
Now, I liked when you said that you got tired of video games when you had to log in, and I remember something similar happened to me, and it was when the video game stopped being fun and started to be more like a part-time job. I had
Yeah.
it was so complex, and I had to do so many things to get the right thing, and I had to learn this, huge. I got to equip this, I got to do that, I got to farm this, and at some point I was like, what am I doing? What happened to the good old days when I started up and within 5 seconds I was already having fun.
I completely agree on that, and I actually shared I published a tweet not long ago saying reject modernity, embrace traditional retro shooters. Because I've been
Yes.
playing this shooter called Dusk,
Okay.
which is it's actually recent. It's from a couple of years ago, but it's been developed like something from the late '90s, like Quake 2, something like that.
Hmm.
And it's as you say, just like press start, grab a gun, just move around and kill everything on sight, and that's all I want. I don't need anything else. I don't need to like learn how to resource manage and
Oh my God, yeah.
drop items, combine items. What the fuck? I just want to kill some aliens or something. I
Yes,
have
I just
like
want.
I have like 30 minutes. I have to 30 spare minutes to just unwind. Give me something that I can have fun with in those 30 minutes.
Yeah. So to me, when I look at video games now, they've crossed the line of being for enjoyment purposes, and now they're like psychological trainers. They
Yeah.
take an outside motive, unseen to the video game player, and they train them to do certain tasks. And I've noticed that also, especially like with the flyers, and also how that applies directly to like the drone technology, like in the military or even like Amazon delivery or whatever. Like they've been trained already through the video games to be prepared to do a job.
It's like an Ender Games type scenario. Have you read Ender's Game
Yeah.
by Orson Scott Card? There's a movie too. I think yeah, actually watch the movie with what's his name, Harrison Ford. But yeah, it's like in the far future, kids are routinely trained with video games to be military leaders, and to be soldiers and whatnot. So
Well, I got a funny
it's
story.
not.
I got a
Go on.
funny story for you. Is they were firing all of the workers at like McDonald's over here, and they were installing these screens, and on
Yeah.
the screen, the people taking the orders are really in India, and so they're like virtual McDonald's workers. Like that sounds like a pretty lame video game to me.
It is. I mean, I really thought that it was the machine actually taking my orders. It's some dude in India.
Well, I don't know. Maybe now it's the machine, but at some point, with they had actually people in India that were taking the orders, and maybe AI's moved on now. But there was a story about it, I do it. It was they love the Indians, bro. They love the Indians, and I know that they're flooding them in Canada, and they're starting to flood them in more and more in America. And there's entire cities that are like that in America now too. We touch back upon that immigration thing, and I really think it's a combination. It's a two-prong attack. It's you got the immigration with the third world standard of living, so that it's much cheaper. They can put everybody in like a chicken coop. It's like a chicken coop, okay? And then you got the legacy citizens that they're going to absorb with AI and drain them of their resources, so that their next generation also will go in the chicken coops. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, it's. I guess they're trying to like push culture, society in one direction, like using everything they have. It's the whole, diversity and inclusion bullshit in all media. What is telling you is that you are just an interchangeable piece of machinery.
For somebody else's
And
benefit.
they've been telling us that for ages. First, they did that from a conservative point of view, and my take is that after Occupy in the early 2010s, they realized that the conservative protocol that do this become an interchangeable piece of machinery for God, family, and country that wasn't working anymore. They got made, so they switched to the progressive protocol. Become an interchangeable piece of machinery for diversity and inclusion and equity, but the end result is the same.
Yeah.
You're gonna be cattle. You're gonna be
Yeah.
working their factories. You're gonna work in their mines. You're gonna be working their offices. You're gonna have zero rights. You're gonna get paid eat fucking peanuts. You're gonna die at 50, and someone's gonna replace you, so they don't have to pay for your retirement.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do with us.
Yeah, I get that strong feeling too, and I even get to the point that when I was talking to James the other day, we were talking about the fact that like the families and the women and that live in the country are often feel like they can't have children because it's too expensive. But then the government's bringing in immigrants who are dirt poor, and they're having like five, six, seven children. And so, why do you think? First of all, do you see that in Spain? Is that happening in Spain too,
Yes.
or okay?
Yes,
Why do you
I see more migrants having kids than locals.
right? And the idea is that it's too expensive to have children. But my what I'm trying to communicate is that in the landscape you have one. They're both in the same area, right? The same geography. But one group won't have kids because it's expensive. One group does have kids, but they have no money. What do you think's the difference in those two groups? Why won't this group over here change their mind and just start having children?
Well, I know for a fact that the government is paying migrants here for children. For each child, you get a
Oh,
government allowance, and that was true. That was true. Back in the days of my parents living in Belgium, I think I told you that my parents met in Belgium, right in Brussels.
yes, yeah.
They met there as migrants, and they back then it was normal for the government to give the migrants an allowance to support their children. So
Oh,
there was people that like just have children as a way of getting yet another, you know, how you say that, another
a raise. They get a
ticket.
raise, a
Yeah,
paycheck.
another ticket, another
Yeah.
paycheck from the government.
Wow.
And that's what's happening here. They pay for they pay your rent. They have like government apartments, not too big, but the government pays for them. And in some cases, they will pay for non-essential services like this priest. Yes, the church is in on it as well. This priest once came to my dad's gym and asked him if he could train a bunch of Arab kids that were under his tutelage for free for diversity. And my dad was no. Not only
Yeah.
I'm not gonna train those kids for free, I'm gonna charge you double.
Yes.
You fucking leech.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
of course the priest.
oh, and also the church has all the money, but
Yes.
but which is crazy. Here in America, one of the biggest groups that bring in migrants is the church.
Hmm.
They go out and
Thank you.
they pay for them to come from Africa, from South America, to their area.
Well, one of the reasons why in the third world they know there is a first world is because the church is there, because the church missionaries went there, and they
Right.
told them, "Hey, we come from another world, which is magical and has like money and services and food magically popping out of shelves. Come here and you will be happy and rich too."
Yeah.
That was the church.
And then the church is actually getting paid from the government because they have an NGO status, and so that really becomes the economy, then, doesn't it? It's the government forces the taxpayer to give them money, and then they give it out to bring in more immigrants to force more money from the taxpayer so they can keep growing their budget.
Hmm. I mean, the church here in Spain has always been very powerful because we used to be a strongly Catholic country. We used to be a Roman Catholic country, and much like what happened in World War II, the church will always side with the most powerful party. If the right is in power, the church will be right. When if the left is in power, the church will slowly start to virtually signal about like inclusivity. Yeah, we need more migrants. Yeah, yes, yes. Gay people can also be priests, and women can also be ministers. Yeah, of course, we're super tolerant. It's they're just like, as I like to say, they're fucking skinwalkers. They just
Yeah.
shift their appearance to adhere themselves to power.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of that in America. It makes me question, what did the church ever stand for? If like in the matter of like maybe 3 or 4 years, all the rainbow flags are everywhere, and the women are at the up at the podium giving the sermon, and it's completely changed, completely
Mhm.
changed, and even a lot of churches are turning into mosques.
Yeah. Oh man, the church to mosque thing is crazy here in Spain. A lot of that shit happened, especially in that happened in Brussels. I think there's a bunch of churches that got turned into mosques because as I said, my parents but in Brussels. So we go back there every now and then. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. It used to be great, still pretty good. But yeah, that shit happens everywhere. We
So
give them our churches as a sign of, deference.
yeah, so you travel around, and do you see this happening in Europe, in different parts of Europe
Yes.
as well as Spain?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
When I went to the US a couple years ago, we have to go through Paris. We spent one night in Paris, so we drove to downtown in a bus. For the first 10 minutes of the ride from the outskirts of the city to downtown, there was not a single white guy inside. They were
Wow.
all Arab or black. Like, it was actually amazing. Like, whoa, I feel like I'm in Africa now. This doesn't look like Paris.
That yeah, that's what Harry. He's in the chat. He just said his son Jared, who the judo guy, he traveled all through there, and he never saw a real Spaniard. They were all like you just described.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, you can go around, like, it's crazy. You can go around some parts of Bilbao,
Uh
the
huh.
town I live next to. I basically live in the greater Bilbao area. There's parts in downtown Bilbao, for example, Zabala Street. That's basically Little Africa. It's just like nothing but black people and Arab people there.
So I'm curious. Like, do you basically just kind of keep to yourself and your few friends then? Because it seems like it would be very difficult to go out and meet new people or like go to the bar. Like, I know you guys have great bars. We talked about how awesome your bars are last time with like real good food and a real mom and pop kind of feel. And in America, that's like a big area where we would go and meet people is at the bars. And so, has it really impacted your ability to socialize with people?
Well, the big problem with socializing in Basque Country is this phenomenon we call la cuadrilla, which could be loosely translated as the crew. And the crew is like your tightly knit group of close friends you probably know from grade school, and you live with them for the entirety of your life. And they're like really, yeah, they're like really tight knit and really exclusive. So if you are not in one of them, it's really hard for you to socialize. And
Wow.
that's something that my American friend complains about as well. Like, well, because, he came here as a grown up, he came here in his 30s,
Yeah.
and he didn't really know anyone except for like his wife, who's like a local girl, and his wife's family. So it's
Yeah.
like, wow, it's really hard to make friends here. Like, yeah, yeah, man, welcome to the crew phenomenon. If you don't have a crew, you're on your own. You make friends, but they're probably going to be other outcasts like you. So in that regard, I haven't felt much difference, but this could be something to that. Yeah,
So there's a big culture of outcasts, is what I'm hearing. There's
yeah.
there's people who
There's,
are.
well, there's not many outcasts because everybody tries to get their own cuadrilla, their own crew. There is a bunch of like weirdos like me who like to be on their own. They don't have a cuadrilla, so we just like keep to ourselves. We have like a few select friends. We hang out like people we trust really closely. Even fewer since COVID, because people went kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have as many friends as I used to before COVID. Yeah, it's like but the Basque culture is like really collectivist. It's like an old town. It's like small town. You gotta go with the flow, or you're on your own.
So very groupthink oriented. They don't really support individualism. Is that what you're saying?
No, and I think that's one of the that's our weakness. That's our biggest weakness, and that's how they're getting us because we are really afraid of going against consensus. And if they tell us the consensus is now you're gonna be ethnically replaced and you're gonna love it, 9 out of 10 Basques are gonna say they love it.
Uh, when you bring that up, and instantaneously, when I think of individualism, I think of masculinity, and when I think of collectivism, I think of femininity. So, is that the case where the Spanish culture is dominated by femininity? Would you say that?
Definitely Basque culture. Basque culture has always been matriarchal. Since
Oh,
since back in the day, Basques were organized in houses. Like House Harkonnen, House Atreides, all that,
yes. Okay.
house whatever. And in every house, yes, the man would have an authority, but the woman the mother, the matriarch, would be viewed as uh, almost like a magical creature because, according to Basque tradition, the woman would be called a Checo Andre, which means lady of the house, would be able to communicate with the spirits of the deceased ancestors of that house.
This is fascinating. Wow.
I know, right? And that was a belief that lasted until like probably 19th century. 19th century, like Basque mythology was still alive and well, even though it had like merged with Christianity, kind of like the Irish, kind of like the same phenomenon. Like the Christians came along and they taught us that Basque mythology and Christianity were compatible. So we still had that belief. So Basques have always been really matriarchal. They always have a lot of respect for women, and women have always like a lot of authority in the society. I think there's something to that.
Would you say that there's still a lot of that? I don't know. Is it a religious thing? Is that what's the Basque
Yeah,
with the?
I guess you could say, I guess you could say religious, but it was like a cultural thing. Like, Basques used to believe in life after death. Basques used to be like really conservative, like really traditionalist. Like Basques who fled to the U.S., migrated to the U.S. in the 19th century, almost all became like Republican ranchers and stuff like that, like hard ass cowboys when they landed in the U.S. So yeah, I guess it's more of a cultural thing, really. Like we always thought that our moms and our grandmothers had like a lot of power, and we had to respect them.
But would you say the linchpin of the power is the fact that they could communicate more spiritually than the men? Basically, was that the reason for that? The authority? Did he disappear again? Did you cut back out? He might. Let's just give him a second to come back. He might have frozen up. I don't think I froze up. Am I the one that froze up? No, I'm still here. Okay, good. We'll give him a second to come back. We'll see what he's up to. Ibai, you're frozen, bro. Wake up. Oh, there he's gone. Wait, he'll pop back up. This is what happened last time. So that's wild though when you think about the matriarchal component. There's a lot of stuff I've been learning about recently, maybe over the last couple of years about that, and I want to talk about it here pretty soon when I get my thoughts together. We'll see if he's going to come back. He came back last time pretty quick, but there he is. Hey, buddy,
Hey,
you're back now. Good to see you.
yeah,
Yeah,
can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can see you. I can hear you. You look great. We were just touching on the component of the matriarchal nature of the Basque culture, and you said that it had come from the belief system that the mothers and the women were able to speak with the spirits and the ancestors and get basically esoteric wisdom. Do you think that that's having a resurgence perhaps in the Basque community, or is it underground and there's a big community of it and that they're not talked about, and maybe that's what helps to keep these quadrillas? Is that how you say it? Quadrillas and
Quadrilla, yeah, it's basically
quadrilla.
like
I gotta roll
a
my
word.
L. Quadrilla. There
Yeah,
we go.
it's
Quadrilla.
like it's like a Scottish thing. We have a lot of R's here in Basque Country. R,
Hey,
stuff like that.
bro. Yeah, got to keep that tongue trained. You got to be ready to kiss, bro. Come on now. But
R.
that's right. You got to get that purr going. But is there a resurgence of that culture, or is it underground? Is there like a power center of that feminine dominated you know I forget what you called the religion or whatever it was. The
Yeah, the belief of the Echeco Andre, the lady of the house. That's literally what it means.
Echeco Andre.
Echeco Andre, there you go. That's pretty good.
It sounds pretty good. I
So
like that
I don't
word.
know if I need to teach you more Basque words, man. You're gonna love it.
Bring it. I like it.
Absolutely. I don't know if there's a resurgence, but there's definitely been an undercurrent throughout the ages. Like Basques have changed the reasons why they think the way they think, but they haven't changed the way they think itself all that much. You know what I mean? Am I making any sense here? Like
Yeah.
they have kept the same mentality for ages, because right now the reason why the left is has taken over the Basques is because the Basques always wanted to be independent from the Spaniards. They've always been like really self-reliant. They've been pretty libertarian, and they believe that the left is gonna bring them freedom. It's like, it's the same mindset, just for different reasons.
Yeah. That's wild. Um, that's very very interesting. I'm like I'm trying to. My mind's kind of spinning right now that you brought all that to the forefront, and of course I had no idea. We have a thing out here called the Longhouse, and the Longhouse is like how Native Americans and natives in Canada used to manage their towns or their villages or whatever, and it was the indigenous people. And the Longhouse was where women would go, and they would rule from this Longhouse. And so that's kind of our term for it. Is the longhouse is a term that means ruled by consensus with women, where women would come together and they would get together in this longhouse. And it was longhouse because they had a big table, and they all were supposed to sit around the table or whatever, and everybody gets their talking point. But as you and I both know, there's no such thing as a consensus. There's one person or two people at the very top of this pyramid that drag everybody else with them. And there is nobody more hierarchical than women, right? There's nobody more, we call it like monkey branching. They try to go up higher and higher and higher. Or we call it hypergamy, is what we call it in America, in English, with women trying to seek a higher level or a higher podium where they could receive more attention, and that's really key. And it's very interesting that we're talking about this, because this brings us back full circle, back to the technology with social media, and it kind of triggers that desire for women to get this attention, but it's all virtual attention. It's fake, and they get locked into these worlds. Is that happening in Spain as well?
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's happening everywhere. It's like, I always said that social media appeals especially to women, because women are more social than men.
Yeah,
Men are more, I guess, device oriented. Men like machines and
yeah.
tools, and
Production.
women like people more. I think they made like a study with newborn babies, and boy babies, baby boys, whatever you say that in English, they reacted to objects better than to people, and baby girls reacted better to people than to objects. So I guess, yeah, women are more social, and that's why they like social media better, and that's why probably the entire Western world has become more feminized and more like, yeah, it's being pushed towards female values, towards female mentality.
Yeah, I definitely see that, and I can see that it's like the whoever the ruling group is, they've discovered this glitch in female psychology that they can grab a hold of it, and puppet the women to do whatever they want them to do. And I always
100%.
I think about this quite a lot, like your long term happiness, like what's going to make you happy for your entire life, and often you know this, I know this. The things that make us happy when we're 20 are not the things that are going to make us happy for our entire life. We hit a little bit older, and we figure out, okay, I don't care if I have like the Nike, I don't care. I just need a pair of shoes that feels comfortable and I can get around. And I want to make sure that my family's taken care of, because my family's going to make me happy, those relationships. And I feel like that they've figured this out, especially with women, how to trap them in like this teenage or this 20-year-old mindset. And they stop them from maturing. And so now you see like 50-year-old women or whatever that think like teenagers, that are
Yes.
on their phone trying to get, OnlyFans or Instagram or more attention or soap opera. Do you have you noticed that?
Yes, I've noticed that not only like, yes, women have become more teenage-like, and so have men. Men
Yes.
have followed, and yes, no, we have. I've been saying for a while, like, it's really cringe-worthy to see people who I don't know, like Mark Waid or all these like comic book writers who are like in the 50s and 60s, trying to sound hip and like tend to
Yeah.
like they owning you with like teenage sounding bullshit. I don't know
Jargon.
if I'm making any sense.
No, you are.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
they're using the teenage trendy words.
yeah, and you see that in politics as well. Politicians have become more childish than ever, and their talking points, especially in the left wing, they're more like emotional and simplistic than ever. They're basically talking. They're telling you about reality and about politics as if it was all Saturday morning cartoons. It's
Yes.
us versus them, good versus evil, blue lightsaber versus red lightsaber, all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're all in our 40s. Some of us are in our 50s and 60s, and I can't believe we're falling for that. We should know better. Life is not that simple. Life has never been that simple. You
Yeah.
know,
It
somehow
makes
they're
you.
selling that. In people's mind.
Yeah. It's like, where have the adults gone? Where have the adults who have a standard of lifestyle and expectation of professionalism and how the world's supposed to rise to meet that standard? Where has that gone? Instead, we have people with no standards that
Mhm.
allows the lifestyle to fall down, 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 which allows the immigrants to come and then get integrated, and they can influence the lifestyle.
Yep. And I've noticed that migrants act more grown up and more adult, not more civilized, mind you, not more civilized, but they do act like men used to act a generation or two ago. They're like
Yeah.
tougher, they scream louder, they know what they want, they're like more assertive. And we here in the West are excited about the next episode of Suicide Squad, what the fuck it's called, fucking Creature Commandos. Oh, Creature Commandos was so cool because Batman made a cameo. Motherfucker, you're 45. You know?
Yeah, I have noticed that the migrants that come, they're more masculine. And
Mhm.
I've noticed that their women are more feminine. Their women take care of the men and more of a traditional role set.
Yes.
And a lot more of the women stay at home and they do take care of the children. And
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
is, I've that's
That's
been a,
that's why that's why they're replacing us here in Europe because they follow a more traditional model of family, which is the model that makes a society successful. We're following a more consumeristic, materialistic, live in the moment type mentality, makes us all eternal teenagers. We don't reproduce, we don't have kids. And I know I shouldn't say this myself because I'm basically a 44-year-old teenager myself, but that's not how you keep a society healthy. Their model is. That's why, they're gonna replace us if we don't do anything to avoid it.
so that's a great question. What is it? If you snapped your fingers and you became El Presidente, mañana,
Oh,
El Presidente, do you have any ideas or strategies, or what do you think you would do? El Presidente
oh,
Canales.
I would make Vlad Tepes look like fucking Jimmy Carter. I would go full Bukele. I would go full naive Bukele. I would start to clean not only the streets, I would clean house because we are one of the most corrupt governments in the countries in the European Union. I would start deporting illegals like crazy. I would start like cutting off government branches, Millet style. Thousands of state workers would end up in the street, would have to like get a job. What else? Farther down the future, I would probably institute programs not unlike mandatory military service, but like something like that. I will tell kids, and I myself skipped military service because I was short-sighted, and I pretended to be more short-sighted than I actually am because I didn't want to spend the following 2 years somewhere in Arab country, learning how to
Sure.
shoot. But yeah, but now I regret it. I Not really, but I kind of regret it because I believe a lot of our current problems could be solved if we taught kids the value of things, if we put kids to work in an oil rig or a cornfield, you know, stuff like that, like just so they won't believe that food magically pops up the shelves in the supermarket. What it takes to grow the food. I've been saying a lot that the reason why our forefathers or grandfathers and fathers went to war with each other or went to war against the government during the Civil War is because they were familiarized with pain and death. They would have to hunt animals and flay them and spit roast them to survive, and that was normal. And they had like two, three brothers that had succumbed to like polio or fevers, you know, so they were used to that. And those are the kind that's the type of men. Sorry, but that's that sounds old fashioned, but those are the type of men that keep a society running. The strong men, hard times that create strong men,
Yeah.
and that's why migrants are eating our slice of the pie because they grew up like that.
Yeah.
They're stronger than us. They're more masculine. They're more familiarized with reality. We think death and pain and illness and suffering, that's not reality because I'm cushioned by technology and and by this constant dopamine hits. Well, these guys probably grew up in a war zone somewhere and had to scavenge food to survive and maybe saw their parents or their siblings die under enemy fire, stuff like that. So we need to replicate that sort of experience with our civilization. We need to teach kids what life really is, and what the real, as we say in Spanish, lo que vale un peine, what a comb, like a hair comb, really costs.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
something I would do. Remember.
it's a great point. If life is a game, they've trained harder than us.
Yes, they
Uh,
they play in hard mode while we play in extremely easy mode. That's where they're winning.
yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I agree with what you said earlier. I would definitely take out the smartphones and put in the dumb phones.
Yes.
To try to restrict that technology creep in a direction that is basically like caged animals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this. We gotta do something like that. Yes, that's what I said. The whole oil rig or plantation or something. You gotta make them earn it.
Earn it. Yeah. Earn it. Yeah.
Kids don't feel like they need to earn anything. They
Yeah.
they come to my gym. Most of them, not all. They're
Yeah.
still like,
Entitled. Entitled.
and they think that just like after the first hour of training, they're gonna be fucking, Joe Louis. No, that's not how it works. You're gonna get your ass kicked,
Yeah.
and tomorrow you're gonna get your ass kicked a little less, and the day after that a little less, and then so on until you will be the one kicking asses.
Right.
But it takes time and effort and the will to endure
Yeah.
because you're gonna be in pain.
And also, you develop this responsibility, right? As you get your ass kicked, when you cross that line and you start kicking asses, now you know the pain of being it. So you don't go around kicking everybody's ass, right? There,
Yes,
there's an accountability there for the power that you have because you earned it.
it is said that actually martial artists and combat sportsmen are the most peaceful people outside the ring because they know the value of what it costs, what it hurts. They know what it hurts to be punched in the face, to punch other people in the face. They don't think it's like in the movies. They
Right,
know that it's not like in the movie.
right.
I already had my share of controlled violence. I don't need any more. Thank you.
100%. 100. I had a whole bunch of friends that were like Gracies, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, and whenever we would go out, they would do the same thing. They would always try to de-escalate everything, and they could have destroyed the entire bar. They could have killed everybody, but they were like, "No, come on, let's just walk away." There was no need to project masculinity because they already had it inside.
You already know what you're capable of when you're like, you beat the shit out of a 200-pound guy, or the 200-pound guy beat the shit out of you, and you still took it like a man. Which is
Yeah.
it's something that actually commanded a lot of respect in the gym from my part, because people will tell me, "Man, you took a beating today, but you took it like a man, didn't you?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like super proud. Like
Yeah.
I would fight against like more experienced, biggest fighters,
Yeah.
and they would beat the shit out of me. But I would never like bend the knee. It was like, okay, I'll just like go rope a dope and just take it until the round ends, and they actually respect you for that.
Yes.
Wow, know,
Yeah.
you're not
Eh,
tough because you can beat the shit out of someone. You're tough because you can take it.
up
That's
here.
what makes you tough.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember one of the favorite things to do is like when new people would come to the dojo with the jujitsu is like everybody would have to get choked out, so you feel what it feels like. You have to get punched in the face, so you feel what it feels like. And then you're no longer afraid of it. You realize it's no big deal. And I'm sure you
Hmm.
see that all the time when you run your gym, your kickboxing gym.
Hmm. Well, it's not my gym. I just teaching it, but maybe one day.
Right.
But
Well, your father's
yeah,
gym.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Well, actually, my dad has one gym, and I teach at another gym, kind of far away. Like, but yeah, we work in different gyms because
Sure.
I'm good like that. I just apply
Yeah.
it to another gym. They took me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I do. Like, I tell them to like not hit each other. Like I tell them to grab their heads, like with the gloves on. Like, just try to grab his head as fast as you can. It's just they grab it and the other like has to duck or like block it or like just take it.
Yeah.
So they will get used to seeing another guy's hand coming at them and not be afraid of it.
Yeah.
And eventually I will tell them to like, yeah, punch it, but don't go too strong. And then like, yeah, go full on, fuck it.
And then I'm sure you see like when like your student realizes that if they put in work, they're going to get better. And I'm sure you see that moment that clicks in their mind when they get excited about it and they realize that there's this
Mhm.
potential. How do you tell me about that from a teacher's point of view?
Well, it's probably the main reason to become a teacher is because you see your students getting better and actually doing it themselves. But yeah, it's like when you've been teaching a kid for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and you tell him, okay, this is the heavy bag. I'm gonna let you go free. You have 3 minutes to do whatever the fuck you want to this heavy one, to this heavy bag. And you see them like, they get the eye of the tiger and like, they go full on, they get start sweating, but they don't quit. Like, it's like, okay, this guy's ready. This guy gets it
Yeah.
because I'm not telling him what to do. I like, I held pads for him like 3, 4 rounds, and he absorbed it, and now he's applying it himself without me needing to tell him what to do. And yeah, that's a great moment. Like, this guy ready.
Yeah,
He
and
can
it's
he can fill in for me if I can make it to the gym one day. That's great.
yeah, and from a philosophical point of view, they've accepted that mantle of masculinity, that standard, right, in the gym. And so that's fantastic. That it's very exciting. So you must, I mean, you must have a good time at the gym.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I was when I began to be a successful artist in CG. I for a while toyed with the idea of becoming a full-time artist, and it was like ditching the gym and just doing nothing but drawing. I was like, yeah, but I really like it. It's like it
Yes.
keeps my feet on the ground. It keeps me connected to the real world. I'm not trapped inside of my parents' house drawing all day. Like I socialize with people, so it is a good thing. Keeps me grounded.
Yeah, and you, like you said in our last chat, it helps you even choreograph your fight scenes in your drawing,
Yes.
and you
Mhm.
get like different angles that a lot of other artists don't get, and I've noticed that.
Yeah, I keep saying that if you're gonna draw fights, the very least go watch a bunch of uh kung fu, like Hong Kong movies or boxing movies or something. Don't just like make stuff up because it's gonna show.
Yeah.
And people who fight are gonna say, yeah, this is not like, yeah, it looks good on page, but that's a problem that I've always had with American comics. Like, I love American comics, but they don't represent fights as well as say Japanese comics. Manga is
Yes.
great for fights. Manga
Yes.
is amazing for like physicality and the how do I say that? Like the movement of all that is like super believable.
Yeah, Americans look a little bit more like they're dancing, right? When they're fighting, they're
Yeah, it's like
dancing and they're taking all these
like it's like a
forms.
yeah, it's like the double eagle kick from the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like that, the like the Trinity is like floats in the air and like raises her knees. Like that's totally an American pose thing. That's not, And I think the Wachowski said, yeah, we just wanted to like replicate like a mid 90s image type fight, like just like floating and extending a leg. That's not a
Yeah,
real kick, but it still looks cool.
yeah, it reminds me of like Van Damme when he used to do all his movies. Wasn't Van Damme a dancer before he became an
He
actor?
was a dancer. He was a karate black belt, I guess. So he wasn't entirely bad, but he was never a professional fighter. He had some experience, but yeah, his thing was more that he was like really flexible and have a really good balance. So that's sure that's has a lot of merit in its own. But he was never like all that believable when it comes to fights. Like
Yeah, the splits and the
whereas 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 the guy who plays his brother in Kickboxer, the guy with the
yeah.
mustache with like Freddie Mercury, that was an actual world heavyweight champion of kickboxing. And when you see him hit the pads, like you can see the difference. Like Van Damme is just showing off, but the other guy, whoa, that guy can kick your ass. If
Yeah.
he moves his shoulders like bang, and he hits Van Damme in the pads, and Van Damme really like, no, this guy can actually beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. I remember watching that, and I think I do remember that he was. I knew when I first saw Kickboxer that he was actually a kickboxer, and that Van Damme wasn't a kickboxer. But okay, what about like a Muay Thai versus kickboxing? What is your take on that?
The differences between the two martial arts.
Well, like for example, like in that the movie Kickboxer, right? So the kickboxer shows up and he fights a Muay Thai guy, and the Muay Thai guy kicks his ass. So then Van Damme has to go over to Thailand and learn Muay Thai, not kickboxing. Is that true? Like, what's the story there?
Oh, well, uh,
Or is it
I
different
guess that.
rules?
Yeah, it's different rules because in Muay Thai you can use the elbow and the knee, and kickboxing is basically depends on what style you're practicing. You can hit under the belt, you can hit the other guy in the legs, or not. You can only hit him in the head and torso. But I mean, it's kind of retarded that a kickboxer would accept to fight in Thailand without knowing what the rules are. You know, Hey, you gotta fight in 2 months. You're gonna fight a Thai champion. We're not gonna tell you anything else. Like no, no, how many rounds, the rules. Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
they can hit you with the elbow. They can hit you with the knee.
Well,
They have more throws in it.
the shin kick is like when they do the leg kick. Do
Mhm.
like the big deal in the kickboxer movie was that guy, he had no nerves
Shit.
in his shin anymore. Is that the same in kickboxing or no? Or is that really in
Yeah,
Muay
yeah. It's
Thai?
the
Or
it's the same principle. You harden your shin, but you just hit the bag. You just hit the bag like crazy for like 1,000 times, and you harden your shin. And it's not that it stops to hurt; it's that you get used to it.
oh
Like, that really hurt, but I don't care because I've already felt it a ton of times. So
yeah,
it's more of a mental desensitization. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But it is a thing. Like my dad, who was an old school kickboxer and also a karate black belt, if you touch his shin, it feels like a saw. It's like really hard, and it's like jagged of all the fractures, all the micro fractures that he's had. He never broke the
Wow.
knee, but the shin, but like he like really abused it, and when you
Yeah.
touch it, you can feel it.
They're
Like
like
it hits you with it.
the little bone
Yeah,
spurs
it's
and
like
stuff.
it's like yeah, it's like jagged. You can feel the texture
Like
of the bone,
jagged.
and
Yeah.
it's like really hard and heavy. And when he hits you, my dad can still beat the shit out of you. Let me tell you, when he hits you with that motherfucker on the leg, like you
Yeah.
can feel it.
Yeah.
Hits you in the
That
thigh, and you're like, oh, it feels it.
that's
Really, really
fantastic.
painful.
Now we're
Oh yeah.
coming up on an hour. I don't want to keep you longer than that. But what are you excited about going forward? Like, is there anything you're excited about? Are you looking forward to? Are you working on a project, or are you working on something else, or well, you got a big date coming up? Like, what's going on?
Well, I'm really excited for these three stories I'm working on because I think they're the best I've drawn in my life, if I can say so myself. Because every
Fantastic.
every project that I work on makes me a little better. Again, I guess it's my martial arts mentality. Whatever happens, you learn from it,
Yeah.
and adapt the enemy. And I've been seeing a lot of AI animated pictures that people draw, like your AI animated picture on your
Yeah.
PFP. I know AI is kind of taboo for some of my artist friends, but I'm kind of excited. Like I can actually make my drawings move.
Yeah.
Like I can like write a story, and my art will like do what I say. That's actually kind of intriguing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I want to figure out how do I make us look like a story with it. Like it animates no problem for like 5 or 10 seconds, but how do you make it so it doesn't go crazy? Because it, after 5 seconds it just goes crazy. How do you make it stay where you want it to go?
It's like the thing. Like it looks human for a few seconds, and then it starts to like sprout tentacles and whatnot. And yeah, I heard that people just like make several takes, and then they like splice them together and like try to get the best angles and the best, have you seen that shit, what was it called? There's this Minnesota lawyer that had like an AI cartoon made of him as a mockery. I don't remember the name. Like some chick made an AI cartoon making fun of a Democratic Minnesota lawyer, and it
Okay.
went viral. And
Okay.
it looks like an Adult Swim cartoon. Looks
Okay.
like Metalocalypse or something like that.
Yeah.
And this lady said that it was all about like, yeah, writing prompts and then grabbing the best result and then the best results and then splicing them together with
Yeah.
a
Editing.
with an
Okay.
editing program.
Yeah. I'm gonna give
So
it a try. I think
she
you should
said,
try it too.
I'm I'm curious. I know some of my friends are gonna pissed off because AI is a taboo. But I always wanted to make movies, and if I can make movies in
Yes.
my own home with like an editing program, I'm
Right.
excited about that.
And it cuts down the amount of people you need, and it cuts down the turnaround time as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like my main problem with movie making is that I'm not that much of a social person, at least in Spain with
Yeah.
Spaniards.
Yeah.
So if I can like bypass the social aspect and just like have a machine make the movie that I write, and then I edit it together and like maybe give it voices or music or whatnot.
That would be so
It's not
awesome.
that that would be awesome. I don't think I'm stealing jobs from anyone, because if that wasn't a thing, if that wasn't a possibility, then I wouldn't be making a movie. You
Right.
know, I'm only making a movie because that tool is available. Otherwise,
Well,
I will just like stick to making comics.
also, everything they make sucks. Everything they make, the movies, the shows, it all sucks now. And how do we get back to good, interesting entertainment? How do we get back to that? And I think this is the way. You got to have somebody in charge of it, like you.
I, Ironically or ironically, I think this is going to force people to be more creative, because AI is always going to give you good image, good special effects, good lighting, so that's gonna be that's gonna be taken for granted. Yeah, sure, it looks great. Everything looks great now.
Right.
Thanks to AI, everything looks wonderful. What about the story? What
Yes.
about the
What?
characters? What about the feelings? That's so people are gonna have to focus on that.
Yeah.
I think. I hope.
No, I agree. I hope so too, and I'm excited about it as well. I've always wanted to make like anime, kind of like Studio Ghibli kind of stories. The stories that are the real stories about real relationships, not like weird battles or whatever, but about like the psychological interactions, like Deep Blue. I love that show, Deep Blue, and other things like it. Like that's the kind of stories I'm interested in, not so much the superhero or whatever. But this would make it possible for somebody like me or like you to be able to try that out, and that to me is exciting.
It, it's all about the characters, even if it's like regardless of the genre, and then subgenre, whatever. It's all about the characters. Movies, stories are good because the characters are interesting, and you're engaged, and you want to know what happens next, and you feel close to these people, or you love them or you hate them. Ooh, see, yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Uh, You have all the time in the world.
Bro, let's see here. My back. My back.
I
Let's
can
see
hear
here.
you, but I can see you.
Okay, I think my camera just went out of battery or something, so I gotta. Sorry about
Oh,
that. Didn't mean to cut you
no, that's
off,
fine.
but let me see. Let me go to always
Are we
some
still
kind of
live?
crazy thing going on, right? Let me go back to my
I
Discord.
think that's my fault. Machines hate me.
No, it's. I'm pretty sure it's on me this time. Let me change from my ZV10 the video test video. Okay. Looks like we're back. Okay, am I back? Oh, okay. Escape. Share camera. Where's my camera? Oh, there it is. Here we go. All right, cool. Okay. No, I completely agree with you, and I'm excited about that and what could happen. Now, we're coming up on an hour and a half. I don't want to keep it too long, but I'm always excited to talk to you, bro. And let me
Yeah,
fix this
same.
damn
Same. It's
camera.
always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm always excited to talk to you. You always get me energized, and I try to like not be too excited on camera because like I can be like overwhelming. Um, but tell people where can they find you? Where can they find what you're working on? Where can they find what's going on?
Well, you can most likely find me on Twitter, where I am probably more than I should. I'm also on Instagram at Ibai Canales, Instagram.Ibai Canales. And I also have a YouTube channel by the name of Canalus. It's like Canales, but with a U instead of an
Okay,
E, Canalus.
okay.
It's mostly in Spanish, but maybe you'll just
I
enjoy
I
looking
love
into my
Spanish.
face
I'm
and
I'm
hearing.
actually trying to learn Spanish, so
Hey,
hablas.
that you know where it goes.
Yeah, habla español como un niño. No me importa. Es más o menos.
That's
Es bien.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
I could. I used to be able to speak it way more, but then I took 4 years of it in college, and I absolutely love Spanish. And
Hey,
one of my
come over one of these days, and I'll teach you a few words more.
yeah, we'll go to the steakhouse and we'll go hit some heavy bags, bro. That would be so much fun. I'd
Yes,
love it. And
yes.
go paint some landscapes. I'm serious. Probably within the next year, if they don't like make it all crazy, to fly over there.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'll put all your links down below, and also I'll try to get a hold of those links. Like I know Hojo has that comic available, and so people can go follow that if they want to. And everybody follow Ibai. And hey, Ibai, thanks so much for coming. I really enjoyed the conversation. This is one of my social outlets to be able to talk with very cool people like you and people who have become my friends. Actually, you've become one of them. So thank you for that, and
Hey,
we'll have you back on soon. Okay, so thanks for that.
awesome. Just I'm always ready to hang out with you, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Sorry. All right, Ibai. Thanks for coming by. We're gonna head out now. Thanks, guys.
Bye.